I've spent just over 4 months with the Action 5 Pro, and like a lover, the more time you spend with them, the more you learn about them. Like a lover? Mr. Lover. So let me show you all the bits and pieces I've picked up along the way so far, with a couple of real life slight issues and fixes to help you go from oh no to oh pro. When the Action 5 Pro is turned off and you plug it in to charge it, you get a really nice little bubble percentage display pop up on the screen. But what I found sometimes is I'll plug it in and it says 30%. I'll go back half an hour later and it still says 30%. And I'm like, what? Because it just hasn't updated. But if you tap on the bubble on the screen, it then updates to the current percentage. The battery handle that comes with the Pocket 3 is super handy, but unfortunately it's obviously not compatible with the Action 5 Pro. And if you don't have the multifunctional Action camera charging handle, which is £85 from DJI, you can just buy one of these cheaper small mini power banks that will literally plug directly into the USB-C slot once you've removed the flap, and there you go, you've replicated a Pocket 3 battery handle for the Action 5 Pro. If, like me, you get an error message when trying to update your firmware, like this one, simply turn the Action 5 Pro off, remove the battery, put the battery back in, turn it on, and try and update your firmware again, and it should work. The Action 5 Pro now supports an SD card of up to 1 terabyte versus 512 gigabytes on the Action 4, so you can now shoot a movie. I've been doing some real life battery testing, and in my test results, I got 2 hours 38 minutes in the high bit rate and 3 hours and 2 minutes in the standard bit rate before the battery ran out. And the testing conditions, I was shooting in 23 degrees at 4K 25. And I know on the spec sheet it says 4 hours or up to 4 hours, but if you look in the small print writing, it says this was tested shooting in 1080p. And who's shooting in 1080p? When speaking direct to the camera like this, vlog style, the mic sounding sound is The mic sounding sound is pretty good. In fact, it's really good. But what I found is as soon as you turn the camera to face away from you and you're speaking behind the camera, the mic sounding sound is not the best sounding sound, especially when you're out and about and there's ambient sounds going on. It's a little bit hard to hear me and would be hard to hear you. So keep that in mind. You might need to come closer to the camera when you're speaking behind the camera, or connect an external mic. If you're using the DJI mic mini with the Action 5 Pro, but you don't want to attach it to yourself anywhere because you want it completely out of sight, well, you can put it to the side or you can put it on top because the magnet does stick. It's not the strongest setup. It's not going to fall off when we're like inside like this, but if I was to start running, it would fall off. So be careful, be careful. It's not the strongest. I repeat, it's not the strongest, but you can see if I was inside doing a setup like this or even outside walking, it would still stay on. It's just when I start running, which I never do, but you might. So yeah, just be careful. There are some restrictions when shooting in super night mode. I'm trying to replicate, like, you know, like the scary light thing in the movies. Anyway, those restrictions are, you can only shoot up to 60 frames per second versus 120 in normal video mode. You can't shoot in 4:3, only 16:9. Your max field of view is wide, so no ultra wide. So unfortunately, you won't be able to see Venus. You can't adjust the image adjustments and you can't select any color profiles. So no D-Log-M. If you wish you were in slightly more picturesque settings, then you are now, and I'm currently in now, well, dream no more. You can now add snow to your clips. Ooh. Or leaves to your clips. Ooh. This can only be done to clips stored on your phone. So once you've connected the Action 5 Pro to your phone and you're inside the Mimo app, download the clip, go into new project, select the clip, press the effects button at the bottom and transport yourself to a land far, far away. When you're in any of the menu screens and you want to go back to the preview screen, instead of pressing the arrow in the top left once, twice, 3 times, depending on how deep in the menu screens you are, simply press the on and off button once and it takes you direct back to the preview screen. Look, there I am. If you want to view your files from the Action 5 Pro on your iPhone, you can of course connect direct to the Mimo app via the Bluetooth Wi-Fi setup, but let's be honest, the Mimo app can be a little bit laggy. It's definitely got better, but it can be a little bit laggy. If you don't want the lag, you can connect the Action 5 Pro direct to your iPhone via a USB-C lead, and once you do that, you'll get a message pop up on the Action 5 Pro. Make sure you select File Transfer. You can then go into the Files folder on your iPhone, and you've got all your files that are on the Action 5 Pro on your iPhone, and you can download them, view them without any lag. What was that voice? Lag, lag, lag. If you want to shoot a vertical video with the Action 5 Pro, you can just hold the Action 5 Pro vertically and shoot your video. You can also swipe down from the top, go to the last icon in the bottom left and turn orientation lock off, and now when you turn it vertically, the icons will turn vertically. But when you shoot your video, if it still appears like this horizontally, just connect to the Mimo app, go to the albums folder, select the clip. At the bottom, scroll to the left and you'll see rotate, and it will rotate from this to this. We've all been there out shooting a YouTube video and you're like, oh, I want to use that video for a TikTok video or an Instagram reel or YouTube short, but the aspect ratio is completely different. So when you go to crop into a 9:16 for YouTube shorts, Instagram reels and TikToks, you actually lose quite a lot of the image. So if that's the case and that's what you want to do, don't shoot in 16:9, shoot in 4:3, because it gives you a little bit more flexibility when you're cropping in and you don't lose as much of the image. And to switch over to 4:3 shooting, once you're on the preview screen, once you're on the preview screen, swipe up from the bottom and under resolution from 4K 16:9, swipe to the left and you'll see 4K 4:3. If you never, ever want to miss a moment when you're out shooting, turn on snapshot, because with snapshot on, when the Action 5 Pro is off and you press record, it starts recording instantly. To turn snapshot on or off, swipe down from the top of the preview screen and preview screen, swipe down from the preview screen and the fourth icon along at the top is your settings button. Press on that and you can see snapshot is right at the top. Here you can turn it on or off and you can select different settings based on how you want the snapshot to snapshot. If you want to be able to see everything you can see in the back preview screen on the front preview screen, and not a cropped in version like you can see now, which fills the whole screen, you need to turn full front screen off, because when you do, you get the whole image that you get on the back, on the front. Obviously, it's a much smaller version because it's a smaller screen, but you can see everything in shot rather than a cropped in version. To turn this on or off on the preview screen, swipe down and you can go to the last icon in the bottom and turn it on or off. But if you don't want both screens on, let's say you were doing something in the dark or by a window and you didn't want the reflection of the rear screen or the front screen, you need to turn single screen preview lock on or off. And when you do, the front screen goes off, but you still can see the back screen. But then to activate the front screen, tap it and then you swipe up and now everything is on the front screen and the back screen is locked, and you would do the same again. Tap on that, swipe up, and then everything is reversed from front to back. To turn it on or off, swipe down from the top of the preview screen, go to your settings button, and you can see it is the second option down. Here you can turn it on or off. If you use the Action 5 Pro underwater to film the fish, remember when you get out, the microphones are not going to be sounding the same as before you got in. In fact, they're going to be sounding like this. I don't really need anything hot right now, considering how hot it is. But I wasn't going to get cold donuts. Oh wait, I could have got cold donuts. Anyway, here goes. Here goes. Ah, freshly baked. I love a freshly baked donut. So be mindful that you will need to give it 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how hot it is where you are, for the microphones to cool down? Warm up. What's the word I'm looking for? Warm up, cool down, for them to dry up, for the microphones to dry up, so you don't end up sounding like the fish you might have filmed and you just sound normal like a human. If when recording with the Action 5 Pro you are using an external microphone, turn on audio mic backup on the Action 5 Pro, which means that the microphones on the Action 5 Pro will be recording as well as the external microphones. Just in case there's connection issues, you then have the audio file from the microphones as well to use if you need it. And the audio files are simply saved as WAV files in the same folder where the video files are saved. So when you connect the Action 5 Pro or your SD card to your computer, just go into your normal folder and you'll see them as WAV files for you to use if you need to. And to turn built-in mic audio backup on, that's a long one, swipe down from the top of the preview screen, go to your settings button, scroll down until you see built-in mic audio backup. Press on that and then you can turn it on or off. Whilst you're recording, you can swipe down anywhere on the preview screen to change the display screen time all the way down from 3 seconds all the way up to never, never, ever, ever, ever. To change shooting modes, you don't actually need to press the little icon in the bottom left of the preview screen. Just simply swipe left or right anywhere on the preview screen and you can scroll through the shooting modes. Oh yes, it is raining, it is raining. Whenever shooting with the Action 5 Pro without it being attached to a selfie stick, be careful when holding it like you would do a normal camera, because your fingers sometimes might appear in the corner of the lens even though you don't actually realize it's happening, because your fingers aren't actually crossing over the lens, but because the lens is so wide, even the side bits sometimes pop up in the corner. Whoa, it is windy, it is wet, it is stormy. I am glad we're doing this inside today. But yes, I always advise when shooting with the Action 5 Pro or any action camera to attach it to a selfie stick. Not only does it give you more flexibility for angles and stuff, it just prevents, yeah, fingers going over the lens in the corner if you're holding it like an actual camera, which can happen sometimes. But yeah, each to their own. If you don't like attaching it to a selfie stick, don't attach it. But if you are interested in a selfie stick and don't have one, I will leave some links down below for the ones I recommend. If you want to see certain settings or file information, if you want to see certain settings and file information for a certain clips, when you're on the playback screen, click on the 3 dots in the left hand side of the clip you want to view the information or settings on, and then in the top right you'll see a little I button. Press on that, you can see the date, time, resolution, frame rate, stabilization, color profile, and all of that jazz for your viewing pleasure. If you want to connect a mic receiver to the Action 5 Pro but are struggling to get it in the USB-C slot, well, the flap is removable, so carefully pull it away from you and the flap is removed, and you can then plug your mic receiver in just like that. But remember, when the flap is removed, the Action 5 Pro is no longer waterproof, so before you get in the water or go out in the rain, make sure you put the flap back in its place. And if you do decide to connect a mic receiver to the Action 5 Pro, be careful. Do not connect the receiver with it facing outwards to the front like that, because when you start to shoot, especially when you start to pan, it will appear in the corner of the shot like it did with the fingers earlier. Always have the front of the receiver facing behind like that, so there's no risk of anything popping up in the corner when you're shooting. If you're shooting in D-Log-M, turn on color recovery so you can get a rough idea of how your clip is going to look when it's color recovered. Once you've selected D-Log-M on the left hand side of the screen, you can see color recovery. Swipe down and turn it on, but this is only on for the shooting screen when you're when you're on the shooting screen or you're actually recording, it's not on when you go to play back the clips on the Action 5 Pro. It's still a flat image. And you can also go into the clips you've shot in D-Log-M on the Mimo app and turn color recovery on or off, and you can actually export the clip with color recovery on or off. But if you don't want to do anything through the Mimo app and you just transfer all your D-Log-M clips direct to your computer and open them up in your video editor, and are like, ooh, what do I do with these clips now? Well, did you know there is a free conversion nut on DJI's website, which converts it from D-Log-M to Rec 709. I will leave the link down below. So there you go, you're sorted. And there's also another folder on there of like 4 or 5 free LUTs that you can play around with if you wish. It is still raining. It's very stormy out there. No, left. Right, there you go. Right. If you are out in the rain or snow or extreme weather shooting, the last thing you want to be doing is changing your settings all the time from, let's say, normal to slow-mo. So make your life easier and set up custom profiles. To do this, simply set all the settings that you want for, let's say, normal shooting to start with, and then swipe down from the top of the preview screen, and the first icon at the top, the little person, press on that, and you can see it says Save Current Settings. Press on that, you can see your settings, and press Confirm. Then change all of your settings again for, let's say, slow-mo shooting, and then do the same, swipe down, press the little person in the top left, and then save that as a profile. And to then access and switch between the custom profiles, you don't go back into the custom profile menu, you just go into the shooting modes menu. So like I showed you earlier, you can swipe anywhere on the preview screen, left or right, and you can see at the very beginning you've got your custom profiles, or you can press the shooter modes button in the bottom left and just swipe along to the beginning to switch between your custom profiles. If you want to set your white balance manually but don't know what to set it to, don't stress. Make sure you're in Pro mode, go into the white balance menu, make sure auto white balance is selected, hold the Action 5 Pro up as if you're in the Lion King, wait for the number on the right to slow down and basically stop, and then when it does, press the M button and press confirm, and the white balance is locked firmly in place. But remember, if you do move to a different setting, like drastic change setting, as in if we moved from here to where else? I don't know. If we move from here to the desert, we would need to do what we just did again, because chances are this white balance is going to, no, this white balance definitely will be too cool for the desert. So keep that in mind. I've been doing some file splitting tests. You can shoot for 138 minutes in the high bitrate or 120 minutes in the standard bitrate before the file starts to split. And those tests were done shooting in 4K, 25 frames per second. So again, you can create a movie. A long, one-shot, continuous, no cuts movie. The Action 5 Pro is gone. Oops, hold on. The Action 5 Pro is back. He is back. What was I saying? Yes, the Action 5 Pro does shoot high quality video, obviously, but when you are viewing it back through, when you are viewing the clips back through the Mimo app, a lot of the time you're viewing the clips in a low resolution format until you either export or download them. So remember that, keep that in mind. Don't be stressing, pulling your hair out thinking, why does this look a little bit 2006? It's because it's a low resolution format version. And talking of low resolution files, you know those low resolution files that come with every original video file when you plug the Action 5 Pro into your computer or SD card, you'll see them, they're in the same folder. If you delete those low resolution files, it has no impact on the original video file. So you can still play the video fine on your computer, you can still import it into your video editor and edit it fine. The impact it has is if you try to play those videos back on the Action 5 Pro now, you won't be able to. So let's say you delete those low resolution files, you take out the SD card and you put it in the Action 5 Pro, you'll be able to see the files, but you just won't be able to play them. You won't be able to play them on the actual camera. And the same goes for the Mimo app. Once you connect the camera to the Mimo app, you'll be able to see the files. And in some of the tests I've done, I was able to play a couple of the files, even though it was a bit laggy for like 10 seconds, but then it just froze up after that, until you actually download the whole video through the Mimo app. Then it plays and you can edit it as normal. So be careful if you do delete those low resolution files, because yeah, you're going to have some restrictions, but to some people that won't matter. Once you've transferred them, you might not want to play them on the camera or download them on the Mimo app. It's all individual, but just keep that in mind. Now, there must be other people out there, it can't just be me, that miss this one certain feature on the Pocket 3 that's not on the Action 5 Pro. Well, cry no more, because oh yes, oh yes. Look how beautiful I am. Ladies and gentlemen, glamour effects for the Action 5 Pro are here. Oh my, what a beautiful day. And I know you're so eager to find out how to apply these beautiful effects. Well, once the Action 5 Pro is connected to the Mimo app, you need to apply the effect before you download the clip to your phone. So go into the albums folder and then select the clip, and then at the bottom, scroll across to face and enjoy. If you're shooting in HLG and you're feeling a little bit blinded by the brightness of the screen and you can't figure out how to turn it down, well, it's because you can't turn it down. When shooting in HLG, the screen brightness automatically goes up to 100% and you can't turn it down. Sunglasses at the ready. If you want to film a sunrise or sunset, but you can't be bothered to get out of bed to film the sunrise or sunset, don't get out of bed. Turn on timer shooting and stay in bed. To turn it on, swipe down from the top of the preview screen, press the settings button, scroll all the way down till you can see timer shooting. Here is where you can turn it on or off. Once it's on, you can select the shooting mode, select the time, the duration, and whether you want it to repeat or not. But just a tip with this, make sure you've got enough battery or it's plugged in. If you decided to shoot some clips using the internal memory on the Action 5 Pro and shoot some clips using an SD card, remember when you plug the Action 5 Pro into your laptop, you're looking for 2 removal discs. Osmo Action is where your internal clips will be saved, and usually untitled is what an SD card is called. It might be called something else based on what you've renamed it or what it's called. But the key thing here is remember that there's 2 separate removal discs based on where you've shot each clip, whether it's internal or external. Remember, there is a minimum focus distance of 35 centimeters with the Action 5 Pro. So yeah, bear that in mind so you don't get too close to things that you want to be in focus. If you want to shoot in Pro mode, because let's say you want to shoot in D-Log-M, but you can't set the manual settings correctly, because if you did, things would be too white and bright and you don't have any ND filters, don't stress, you can still shoot in auto in Pro mode. Here's how. Go into exposure, select auto, go into white balance, select auto, and then go into your color profile and select D-Log-M, and there you go. You don't need any ND filters and you're still shooting in D-Log-M in Pro mode, but also in auto mode. Just in case you had the Action 4 and maybe have a few spare batteries lying around from the Action 4, well, guess what? The Action 4 batteries work in the Action 5 Pro. If you're trying to play a clip back on the Action 5 Pro and it's just freezing up and not playing, turn the camera off, remove the battery, wait for a few seconds, put the battery back in, turn the camera back on, and it should play the clips all fine. It's happened to me a couple of times, and every time I've removed the battery and then put it back in, everything works fine after that. If you want the Action 5 Pro watermark in your video like this one to show it was shot on the Action 5 Pro, simply connect your camera to the Mimo app, download the file, go to editor, go to new project, select the file, press sticker at the bottom, and there you go. You've got loads of stickers to choose from. Select the Action 5 Pro and you can position it and resize it any way you want on the screen. When viewing clips back on the Action 5 Pro, you might see epic moments that you've captured. In that case, you know you want to come back to them later. So when a clip is playing, if you press on the screen, you'll see that the pause button appears, but next to the pause button to the left is a diamond button. The diamond button is your marker button. So let's say you see an epic moment at 30 seconds of the video, press that diamond button and it will act as a marker. So when you come back later to view it back, you can see that marker and you won't miss that epic moment. When you're connected to the Mimo app updating the firmware for the Action 5 Pro, sometimes that little percentage ring just stops and doesn't move. Well, that means you need to, in fact, update the Mimo app before you update the firmware for the Action 5 Pro. I know what you're thinking. James, is that a drone in front of you following you? No. I know what you're thinking now. James, is someone there filming with you? No. Let me let you into a secret. The Action 5 Pro is connected to a selfie stick right now, but you can't see the selfie stick because of magic. Now I had planned on doing this bit outside, which is why the door's open, so let's go outside. Oh no, I don't think we should be out here. I don't think we should be out here, but you can see whilst we are out here that, again, this is magic. But let's go in here. Now, I know you're eager to find out how on earth the selfie stick disappeared. The disappearing selfie stick. The thing is, a magician never really reveals their secrets, but today you're in luck because I'm going to reveal mine. First things first, attach the Action 5 Pro to a selfie stick. Next step, shoot your shot. Next step, connect the camera to the Mimo app. Find the file through the albums folder, but don't download the clip to your phone, just do it by the albums folder. Once you've selected your file, scroll along at the bottom to InvisiStick. Here you have two options, in-app processing or cloud processing. Always choose cloud processing for the highest quality, which at the moment is 1080p. Press export and let it do its thing. Depending on how long the clip is, will depend on how long it takes. It does take a little bit of time. So sit back and be patient and let the magic unfold. And there you go. So no more oh no, a lot more oh pro. Wait, why am I holding this like a microphone? No, I shouldn't start singing. Tell them, no, I'm done.